What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Gears 5 video, so let's get into it. So today, guys, we're going to be talking about everything we know so far about Gears 5 and the Gears 5 campaign. So let's talk about it. So there was a tweet that went up from Gears Feed stating Gears 5 features a 20-plus hour campaign that flirts with an open-world RPG format. You'll travel across expansive open-world hubs that represent some of the largest Gears of War areas to date. And if you click on the link that Gears Feed put at the bottom here, it will take you to a page from Windows Central and an article that was written by Jez Corden, which of course, the full article will be linked in the description down below. Shed your expectations. Gears 5 changes everything. Microsoft invited us to the Coalition Studios to check out Gears 5 ahead of the game's launch. Gears 5 officially launches on September 10th, 2019, and a bit earlier for Ultimate Edition and Game Pass owners. Suffice to say, this isn't just another Gears. So right off the bat, hearing that it's not just another Gears is so refreshing and so exciting, guys. I'm really hoping that this partially goes back to like the core trilogy that was started, Gears 1, 2, and 3. So it has kind of a kudos to those three games, but also is its own thing completely, and I think that's definitely what we're going to be getting. For our preview, the Coalition propelled us forward a few chapters near the setting of that mysterious original trailer. I don't want to give too much away for those looking to avoid spoilers, but the snippets of the 20-plus hour campaign we explored offered more insight into the dynamics between Kate, Del, and JD, and the current state of the trio's relationship. The three were previously outsiders living outside COG government jurisdiction. Now they're all enlisted, along with almost every outsider village, as the skirmishes between the Swarm and the remaining humans become more intense. The first act we played had us venture into one of the remaining outsider outposts to try and get them on board voluntarily. Already I got a sense of world building that felt like a step up from Gears of War 4. Exploring the village produced tons of collectibles filled with lore, which offer context for the tension between the outsiders and the COG. Kids ran around playing Kill the Fascists in reference to dictational iron grip the COG maintains over the remaining nations of the world. So the segment I want to take from here, guys, is the 20-plus hour campaign. This is so exciting because we all know that Gears typically has a campaign that is relatively short. What I usually do, guys, is I usually can beat it between 7 to 8 hours, maybe less than that. And what I'll do is a lot of times I'll kind of take it slow. I'll kind of explore some of the things that you can, but it's pretty linear as far as the structure of the story, as well as the way that each level in the campaign is structured. There's not a lot of exploration. It's mainly just pretty linear, and I like that a lot, but I'm excited to see them do something a little bit different, more of an open world setting, a little bit more exploration. And what I love about it is that it's not fully open world. It's more a taste of what may be to come for Gears in the future as far as the campaign is concerned, because I think they're testing it out to see what we as an audience, as we as fans, think about a tease on the open world format, and maybe that's what they're planning on doing in the future, is something fully open world, similar to maybe what they tried in God of War and Sony. So I would not be surprised if Gears in the future turns into a fully open world scenario and gameplay where we can explore as much as possible, but it's also, there's so much more lore and so much more to it than just being a linear experience, which we had up to this point in all of the Gears of War games. I think the same can be said for the Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite looks like it's very well, possibly, partially an open world experience. Maybe it's kind of similar to what Gears is doing, where it's not fully open world, but they're just teasing it a little bit just to see what the fans think. And I think that's absolutely amazing. The Coalition is signaling loud and clear that they are ready to grow this franchise. The Swarm, like many of Gears 5's systems, has begun to evolve beyond their locust roots. New leech-like parasites that swarm in the air, similar to the Krill, can also subvert COG technology. One of the new enemies is a grotesque half-DR1DB robot, half-swarm biomutant, which functions as a living turret known as a stump. These enemies have piles of health and can attach themselves dynamically to walls or ceilings as you chip away at their health. They tend to wield heavy weapons too, making them all the more tricky to deal with. The meteor-corrupted DBs are also far more fun to fight than their more metallic cousins and should prove a little more popular than they were previously. During the attack, Kate loses control, subverted by the Swarm Hive Mind. During this sequence, you're given the ability to control various Swarm units while harrowing whispers swirl in Kate's head. It is in this instance Kate realizes that something is desperately wrong and that her ties to the Swarm might be deeper than she had previously realized. So two things here, guys. The first is that I absolutely love that they're changing these DB robots or making them kind of like biomutant. I love that because in Gears of War 4, one of my biggest criticisms of the game were the robots. It felt like in Gears of War 4 we were fighting more of the robots than we were the actual Locust Horde, and that bothered me quite a bit. I felt that they just didn't feel like the stakes were that high when I was fighting those robots, and it just bothered me after a while. It just kind of felt like not a part so much of the Gears of War franchise, and I know of course now it's a part of canon, it's a part of the Gears franchise, but I like this idea of the biomutant kind of changing things, and I think a lot of the community agreed with my thoughts on it, where it was, I kind of go back to what Gears really was as far as the Locust Horde, but keeping those robots, incorporating it, but making it kind of biomutant, I love that idea. The second thing here is that I think more and more we're starting to realize that Kate very well may turn as far as becoming the queen of the Locust Horde, and that would obviously move into most likely Gear 6, where we would take the control of either JD or Marcus again, and then they would start going after Kate, and then in Gear 7, of course, maybe they are able to take out the Locust Horde once and for all. But it's going to be very interesting because they're very much so teasing that Kate is going to be the next queen of the Locust Horde, but I'm wondering if the Coalition is actually leading us astray somewhat. They want us to think Kate is actually going to turn, but in reality, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Because one of the achievements in the game is to destroy the true threat to Sarah. So if they're teasing that Kate is losing control throughout the course of the game, they're insinuating that Kate is going to be the queen of the Locust Horde, but then maybe there's an actual twist on it at the end, which I think is absolutely what's going to happen. Throughout the acts we played, Kate experienced headaches from the Swarm Hive Mind, along with paranoid visions filled with dark mutterings full of ill intent. It provides some insight into what being plugged into the Locust Swarm Hive Mind is like, adding a layer of horror into the mix. The Hive Mind attempts to drive Kate into mistrusting her allies, showing her visions of them conspiring against her. It's hard to tell who to trust, which makes the campaign all the more mysterious. Nothing seems safe, and it is that invasive sense of vulnerability that could help this to be the most engrossing Gears story to date. So once again, they're kind of giving you hints that Kate is very well possibly turning into the queen of the Locust Horde, and maybe turning as far as the story goes, which very well might happen. She very well, maybe they want everyone to think, oh, she's not going to be the true problem here as far as the true threat to Sarah, and then she actually is. There's a lot of mind games here with the Coalition and us as consumers, and I'm excited to see really where this story goes. As Kate journeys across Sarah to unearth the truth about her origins, you'll travel across expansive open-world hubs that represent some of the largest Gears of War areas to date. A sail-driven skiff, which handles very nicely, is your primary mode of transport, complete with the ability to store heavy weapons for later use. We experienced two biomes for Gears 5, one in the ice-blasted waste surrounding Mount Kadar and New Hope, and another in the red sands of former UIR territory. These areas are perhaps closer in size to those found in games like Metro Exodus, not truly open world, but designed to foster exploration and reward players who enjoy traversal. To accommodate the format, Gears 5 is the first in the series with an actual map function, giving you access to question mark locations which could contain resources, story elements, or collectibles. The two areas we explored were tightly packed and dense. Kate and Del frequently spoke to about the landscape, random banter, and every location you came across, helping Gears retain its signature cinematic feel. This isn't open world for the sake of it. The Coalition has quite clearly worked hard to ensure Gears maintains the feel fans expect while creating a canvas to truly evolve the franchise. You can simply ignore all of the side quests and content if you so choose. We were told that the Coalition expects a player skipping side quests and exploration could get through the campaign in around 12 hours, while those who dabble would see 20 plus. A completionist might find even more to uncover. In addition to story collectibles like text logs and data files, there are also unique relic weapons to uncover which have unique properties. One relic weapon we found was a Boltok pistol designed for hip firing gunslinger style. To obtain it, we had to battle through two swarm flocks and waves of enemies to get it who had swarmed upon a crashed COG aircraft. So the main thing here is, like I was alluding to earlier, where it just feels like the Coalition is really working hard to that the Gears of War and Gears 5, it still feels the same, but they're showing us a canvas to truly evolve the franchise in a more open world standpoint. They're giving us a sneak peek preview of what that might look like, see what the feedback is, and then go from there. And I would say that if we enjoy it, which I'm sure we're going to probably enjoy, a fresh open world kind of feeling, I think we might see full-blown open world in Gears 6. While the RPG layer on Jack in the open world systems are relatively rudimentary, they show the care and attention the Coalition is taking as they evolve the franchise. Clearly, this is all about exploring the boundaries of what Gears of War can truly be without sacrificing everything that made the franchise great in the first place. The fact the studio has kept things quite densely packed and tight represents a desire to maintain that level of cinematic pacing that often gets completely lost when other games make the leap to open world. Don't expect to spend 30 hours gathering herbs or doing repetitive fetch quests, for example. Every locale came with something interesting to find, complete with unique dialogue and scenes. The fact Gears 5 somehow achieves 4K 60 on the Xbox One X across all of its modes without apparently sacrificing any of the visual quality from Gears of War 4 is nothing short of wizardry. The game was as smooth as they come, with fluid, satisfying gunplay and polished vehicle handling on the skiff. Some of the lighting and draw distances simply defy belief. And although the game uses dynamic resolution scaling to maintain that frame rate, it's difficult to perceive with the naked eye. In 2019, there isn't a universe where Gears of War could continue to plot ahead with the linear corridor shooter format. Like the game's ever-mutating enemies, Gears of War has to evolve to meet the expectations of modern games. It looks like Gears 5 is the evolution the franchise desperately needed. And guys, this is pretty much everything that we know so far about the Gears 5 campaign, and I am so excited for it, to say the least. There are so many different things within Gears 5 that are going to be exciting, whether you're talking about the multiplayer, the Horde mode, escape mode, or the campaign. It is going to be a full package, I believe, that we are all going to be breaking down and talking about for months and even years to come, I think. I really think that there's going to be a lot of replayability to this. I also think that there's going to be so many different ways that you can perceive and interpret what's happening in the story, and I just think, guys, that this is going to be absolutely incredible. I think this game, it sounds everything, and I hope that it really lives up to the hype that we're all building here, because it just looks absolutely incredible, number one. But number two, it just seems like there's more content in here than ever, and I love the idea that they are taking a semi-open world approach. It should be something to witness, and I'm really excited about it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you guys think about all the things that we know so far about Gears 5? Do you think it's going to live up to the hype? Let me know what you guys think. And as always, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. And if you did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive. And as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.